All right. Let's get to work. All right, so if we've got this page, how are we going to load it? Basically, for a username screen, a profile screen, we need to enter and set a kind of a current user ID that we want to look at. So let's go to the main screen for stats. So when you create an attached screen, let's go see what we've got for that. Because I basically want to pass in some stuff to the screen, and none of the other screens do this. And I could have like kind of a loose coupling of like, well, this is what you should load, and then load it. But let's take a look. All right, so we have push screen gets called. So the other thing I could do is I could have a function that gets passed in here as like extra args. An object as extra arguments. So it'd be something around the lines of like something like this. That's probably the best way to do this, is just to add this sort of thing in here. So we'd make a new screen, and the third argument here would be extra data. And so it'd be like So I guess we can just do like a null thing in here. So it'd basically be if extra data does not equal null, then we will be expecting things. So let's go look at stuff. So basically we'll pass in this extra data, and we'll want this .in user ID is going to be null. So if extra data does not equal null, then we're going to try to snag the stat main screen. This is wrong. So we're passing in username right in here. just actually, yeah, null's a good one for this. Extra data does not equal null. This.m user ID is going to be extra data dot. What do we do? Username, user ID. Alright, so what we want to do here is we want to load all the profile information for this thing. So we're going to need a function that we can call that'll actually do that. OnStats updated? Is that even a thing? Because we're not going to be updating the stats here. It's going to be this like load profile data. So if we're not in game, what we're going to want to do is set stuff. We're basically going to need to make a thing and then pass it in. So let's see. For our game, we got everything in game utils for pretty much all this sorts of stuff. Alright, so we'll have our load user profile function, and that's what we're going to have to do. So let's see. This is going to have to actually go call the backend, so we're going to have to do a few things for that. I think we're going to have to upgrade our platform manager for this. Alright. Let's see what we've got for our response objects, because we need to actually just go hook all this crap up. It's where everything has to come together. So we just have this like stats user stat array. Like we don't even have stuff for that. So we need some data structure that we can pass over to our, and it needs to be an F string. It needs to be something we can actually pass into our UI system, which means it needs to be a ustruct, not what these guys are going to be, which is going to be a U class. I've got too many fucking windows open. Well, let's just write the code to start getting all this stuff rolling. So we need a... And the best thing here would be like some sort of user stats cache or something else. So let's just try getting stuff in here. Yeah, we're gonna have to write a whole bunch of stuff here for this. Man. It would be interesting to have a callback system that goes all the way back into the UI, then I wouldn't have to do this. I could just have something set up that would automatically work. So should we load this through HTTP or not? I think we could go ahead and do this over HTTP. Alright, so if the user ID length is nothing, we're going to grab our own thing. Alright, so we got that. This is going to be set users. Otherwise, we need to snag everything off here. Alright, so we've got a few things rolling around here. We'll need our game utils to actually call it. Is there a get for a platform manager? Yes, there is. Alright, well, let's see if we can actually get this thing going. This should call us, and we want to actually hook this up inside of the if in game. So we're going to want our user ID, and that's going to be nothing. So I guess just this dot in user ID. Alright, so I should at least see on this the out of game, not loading any screen data, as we're already, alright, good. Alright, so we'll have our call load the user data, and we'll get that rolling along here. Let's connect to our local environment. And let's also get our developer login going on. Alright, this guy's all pissed off because I forgot a semicolon. That's fine. Yeah, if I was building a whole platform for this stuff, man, I'd take a lot more time to do everything. It's kind of helter-skelter with some of these features where what you'd want is like a profile cache and all this other information coming back. We'd also want the UI directly tied into the network layer so you can make calls and get a callback within the JavaScript. Stuff like that, but man, you know, when you only got 2 people on a project and only one of them's the engineer, you just gotta deal with what you got sometimes. It's like, you know, I could spend, you know, the next 2 million years making this thing awesome, but if I do that, I will never ship this game. Alright, let's get this built. Alright, so nobody takes... Oh yeah, well it's a const f string, so... Alright, there we go. Alright, so snagger user stats, we'll need to have this guy running. So let's boot him up. Let's also get our... Let's get our database. So that's what our profile's got right now for all those things. And this guy will have to wait for that network drive to spin up before I can do anything. Ah, this guy actually booted up. Well, let's see how it works. Well, this is where everything has to come together. I've got the UI in there, I've got all that in there. I need to actually fetch the damn data from the backend servers and shove it into this UI. Let's get it done. I like how Adam made one improvement. He replaced the picture. He didn't fix the Australian flag or the home base played for your badge, but he fixed this picture. So this looks like if there was a Brackenwood Facebook, this would be the generic, you know, the generic picture of a Dashkin. Let's go in and let's change that startup project to the... where is it? It's in packaging, maps and modes. Alright, so the editor startup map, we're going to do LBUI. Yeah, let's do that. I did not mean to shut off the editor, but whatever. Alright, so did we get new stuff in the viewport? I guess that 3D thing looks a little bit new. I guess we got a 3D ball going on now. Very cool. I wonder if he also experimented with some of the Dashkin. What does this need to check out? UI level? Oh, we don't need to check that out. What is this thing all freaking out about now? It's just taking a while to load up the first time. These are stats. Oh, we've got our stats back. Let's see what we got. Has stats true, and stats is completely fucking empty. Alright. So let's see. Checking intervals for stats. Call to fetch stats. Alright, let's follow that through. Alright, so what's our request? Our request has got one user, which is this 27 blah blah blah. But we have it reported as our account ID here, so we're fetching the proper stuff. The problem is, when we're actually logged in here, we don't have any stats for this user. So, if we go ahead and create a game here, let's just go ahead and make a simple game and report those stats and see if we can fetch them back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I suck. 25, 26, 27, it's actually 28, I think. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, I don't know. I've lost count. I really need to get back into playing this more often because my skills are atrophying with all of my coding work. Alright, so call to report stats. Let's see, we should have, yes, we have our stats in there, and our accuracy is in there as well. So let's go back to our main menu and fetch our stats. Has stats is false. Alright, why is that? Alright, so users is all this. So let's see what the query is. Select star from stats user stat history where account ID is equal to this guy. Alright. So what do we got? We have how do we have so many stats? Like when I'm looking here, I see just all of these. So why are... Come on, what is it? Why are we selecting from user stats history? We don't want our user stats history, we want just user stats. Come on, there we go. That's what we want. So we should have a much more reasonable amount of stats now. 13, that looks correct. Alright, well, that looks like our stats. But it didn't actually show up. So what we need to do is alright, well I need to look and see if there's some sort of serialization problem in the network layer or something, because it definitely looks like our stats are set. So let's see, where is that going to be? Alright, so fetch stat request is going to need to parse from. So we need to, this is not a request, this is a response. So we need fill JSON string, fill JSON object, fill from JSON string. So we need this guy. So the string response is this thing. So all this information. So we're going to deserialize it. I'm going to call fill JSON object. So JSON object values. So we've got stats, account ID, stat context. So it is an array type. And there's supposed to be 13 of them in there. So you have the value, which is supposed to be an array. I am confused because as array here, well, it's definitely good JSON data. It is stats, and this is an array of objects. What? Is there just... I don't understand this. There's like something seriously wrong with... It's got a it's got the number, and if the number is greater than 0, oh, that's a bug. Alright, so this should be an if the number equals 0. So I have an error on arrays for my network layer. Well, that's how you find them. Was this service objects? So I think it'll be this guy. Yeah, we've got the zeros up there, not the greater than zeros, so I think that's all. And that's one nice thing about having these auto-generated systems like this. I was able to actually go into specifically this call's deserialization code and look at that. So I knew exactly what I was looking at. It wasn't like some big generic, crazy thing that would have been much more difficult to step in and debug. It's like, oh, well, this is the only place in the entire code base where I'm using this fetch stat response, so that's the only place I need to look at, and boom, what could have been a 30-minute hunt of why the hell isn't this correct? It's like, oh, well, This is literally the only code that touches it. The breakpoint's super easy to use, and it's very clear what the hell's going on. Wonder if Adam's gonna be streaming later. So I think it's like, you know, I think he usually starts in like 10 minutes. I don't know. Australia time is offset with so many stupid hours. It always changes. I just give up on trying to fuck around and all that. Let's put this thing back up. So the goal today, hopefully, is to get all this working. I'm not really sure if I'll be able to get it done in one sitting, but I'd at least like the user profile and like the leaderboard history. Well, not the leaderboards. Leaderboards is probably the last thing. I want to get the like your user profile working properly. And then your historical stats working properly too. Alright, looks like we got all of our stats. Online, accuracy, stat values. Excellent. Okay, so we got our stats back. So what we want to do is we want to call our game static function and do the thing. So the other thing is we could translate this into an object that our UI can understand. That's probably what we need to do. We don't even have a user profile here. We're gonna need that too. So I think we'll munge everything inside of C++ and then pass it back. Alright, so this will be account ID. And then we want, like, I guess, username? So I'll have their account. And then I guess we need all their stats, right? So I organize it such as this. I'm going to need the enums for this thing. Yeah. Right there. Those aren't the stats in the database, though. The stats in the database are the separate enum, which is in here. Alright, so for every stat here, we're going to have a thing. And I can probably replace a few things. So we have this thing in gamedata.h, which basically has all these pieces. Let's just organize all these based on this thing. So, how are things today? Things are going well. Just working on getting stats in there. I guess these are. Sets pop up, and then we'll need the other ones. All hit, matches played, touch attempts. Win in row, loss in row. Score. Win loss. Accuracy. And time. I don't know what time is going to do for us here, but it might be something later. Alright, so all that information. So that's our stats. So I need to basically turn this stuff into a user stat profile. So I'll have to do that. I also need an event for this. So it's going to be this one. This will be user stat profile available, I guess updated. And variables for this guy is just going to be a user stat profile. Yes, that is a complex object. So we'll be able to throw that event and register for it and all that. So that should be good. Alright, so we got that in there. Let's build it up. And basically what I'm going to want to do, this is inside of the platform manager. Do I have the UI events? I don't have them included here, so I'm going to do that. And the UI event that I'm going to throw is user stats updated. And we're going to need one of these fuserstat profiles. Okay, so for this response, we're basically going to have tier A and then tier A is going to be, man, there's just so much stuff to stitch together here. This is stupid. This will be get stats. This is going to be a tier A of something. And then we'll have to basically, I need like an object statics where I can transform this thing, don't I? I think I've already got some place to put that sort of stuff. But basically I've got this user stat page which needs to be filled out with your actual user stats. So I've got it all rigged up. I just need to get the information, shove it into from the server, shove it into the UI, and then it'll be working, and then Adam can go customize that and make it look not so awful. So let's see if I can actually go to the declaration of this guy. I need more monitors. 4 is not enough. I need another 2. But my graphics cards wouldn't handle that. Alright, so this is a user stat, user stat. And basically what we're going to do here is we're going to, well, we can kind of pull this out later if we want. Otherwise we can go ahead and make some sort of object utils. Set lighting channel, yeah, those are all separate things. What would it be? This would be just like data munging utils. Not the best thing in the world. Oh, why the hell not? Let's just make something. It's called transformation utils and just not worry about it. There's just always more crap to do. It never ends. So what exactly are we trying to do here? We're trying to take a stats HTTP. No, we don't want any of this stuff. We want you. Okay, so basically we're going to want to call transform, and we're going to take in our info, and we're also going to take our I guess we'll just take our TRA reference. We'll just do it that way. Alright, we do not know our username here, so we're going to need to know our username. Probably if we need that, we'll need other things, but whatever. Now we're going to need some other way to get the username. We're going to need some like fetch username for account ID that we're going to need later, so I need that for everything. We're going to need that on the frickin' server. So probably we'll already know it here. So that's what that'll look like.